Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. Glad to have you with us. Let's take the headlines. Contrary to speculations of insecurity, Abuja-Kaduna road enjoys increased vehicular movement as army presence increases. National Agency for the Control of AIDS strategizes to meet 90-90-90 target towards ending HIV and AIDS in 2030. WHO criticizes Europe's response to COVID-19 as U.S. federal judges dismisses Trump's lawsuit in Pennsylvania. And now the news in details. Contrary to speculations that Abuja-Kaduna Express road has been deserted due to security, the defense headquarters say the route is enjoying increased vehicular movement following upscale in military operations in the road. The coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, stated this while on tour of the road. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
These are defense correspondents on a media tour of the Abuja-Kaduna Express Road, a viable socio-economic route that links the Federal Capital Territory with states in the northwest and north central. Their mission is to appraise the level of traffic and security on the road in view of growing speculation of kidnapping. While on transit to Kaduna from Abuja, we had a stopover at this motor park in Jere.
The security is here, is good here. We have soldiers, police are working hard. You know, we enter embalmment. The passengers are rushing now.
The General Officer commanding one division, Major General Usman Shehu, who is also the commander of Operation Thunder Strike, noted that the defense headquarters-led operation is divided into 6 sessions to enhance policing of the route.
I'm sure you are aware about the threats that we have had on this route. Before now, there have been so much kidnapping and armed robbery on this route. But in recent past, with the operation ongoing, we have had a lot of successes, and often some of these successes are often underreported. So we carry out clearance operations to areas where we think some of these bandits or criminals are hiding. And to me, that is the best strategy, because on this road, when you are passing, you won't actually see the soldiers or the security men on the road, because that is not the strategy. The strategy is just for us to go after them in their enclaves. And don't even allow them to have the opportunity of coming to the road in the first place. We have added additional vehicles, and we are going to get additional logistics.
Seeing is believing. They said road deserted, but I can see a deserted road with vehicles. And we are telling the general public that have the confidence in the armed forces of Nigeria, the Nigerian military, and the operation that is on here, and go about your normal business.
This is the Kaduna-Abuja end of the road, and as evident, the traffic is high, a testimony that the ember period has truly picked up. From Kaduna, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still on security, as part of efforts to restore public trust in the operations of the Nigeria Police, the national leadership of the Police Community Relations Committee is sensitizing the people on effective community policing nationwide. To this end, a one-day parley involving all stakeholders has been held in Dutse, Jigawa State. Ibrahim Belogunda tells us more.
EndSARS protest, coupled with other security challenges in parts of the country, necessitated the need for communities to join hands with government in winning public confidence in the policing system. This is the message taken to Jigawa State by National Leadership of Police Community Relations Committee. Aside from one-day interactive session, the forum meets various opinion leaders to seek for their involvement in community policing matters for optimum results.
Unless members of the general public are aware of the police duties, then they will not know how to respect the duties of the police.
All the stakeholders have been carried along in order to ensure that security is maintained in our state.
Police are fast losing their credibility. The police themselves have to do some work. You have to soul search yourself. Soul search, the institution itself is at risk.
The meeting agreed to take the message of community policing down to the grassroots. From Dutse, Ibrahim Belogunda, NTA News.
Now, how would you feel as a citizen when your fellow compatriot chooses to bring your country down and make the world see your nation as the worst in the world? Well, this is the position of some citizens who were involved in the NSAS protests as they flee the country. Let's hear from Anthony Forson.
When CNN made their broadcast on the Lekki Tollgate massacre report, DJ Switch was very prominent.
In the midst of the chaotic scenes is DJ Switch. He is broadcasting live on Instagram.
I wanted people to see what was happening. I didn't want anybody.
DJ Switch, real name Obianuju Catherine Ude, a female Nigerian DJ and musical artist. Born in Udi town in Enugu State, she had the better part of her life in Warri Delta State. She later moved to Abuja before relocating to Lagos. Information has it that she is the last child in a family of 8 children, and she is understood to have acquired a degree in geology from the University of Port Harcourt. Her fame began when she emerged the winner of the maiden and only edition of the Glow X Factor talent show. Obianuju Catherine Ude, aka DJ Switch, aside from being a DJ, is also a rapper, singer, and songwriter. Obianuju Catherine Ude featured in 2018 CNN editorial titled Nigeria's Female DJs Spinning Against Stereotype. A single parent with a 15-year-old daughter, she left her paying job with an oil company to pursue a career in entertainment. An active participant on social media, she was a star participant of the NSAS protests. With the federal government appealing to Nigerians to approach the panel of inquiry to seek redress, DJ Switch has fled the country.
Instead of presenting whatever evidence she may have to the judicial panel, she chose to escape from the country under the pretext that her life was in danger. I ask, in danger from who? The military has come out to say they never sought after her. To the best of our knowledge, the police never declared her wanted. Her conduct thus becomes suspect. Who is she fronting for? What is her real motive? Who are her sponsors? If she has any evidence of killings, why is she not presenting such evidence to the panel? If she was so desperate for asylum in any country, does she have to resort to blatant falsehood to tarnish the image of the country just to achieve her aim? In the fullness of time, this lady will be exposed for what she is, a fraud and a front for divisive and destructive forces.
The federal government has maintained its position that all citizens with facts and proofs to approach the panel of inquiry instead of demarcating Nigeria for frivolous reasons. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution for Victims of Police Brutality sitting in Lagos has discharged the Nigerian Army as witness in the Lekki Tollgate shooting after concluding its cross-examination this Saturday. Bolore Obara reports.
The panel painstakingly watched the 2 hours 30 minutes footage of the Lekki Tollgate shooting provided by the Lekki Concession Company. Thereafter, the representative of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Ahmed Taiwo, was cross-examined by counsels. Counsel of the state, Olumide Fusika, asked the witness if the army fired gunshots at the protesters at the Lekki Tollgate based on the footage presented to the panel.
That video clip of CCTV didn't show when we are being toned, attacked, and all that.
Yes, because I believe the CCTV had found out there. But then again, when you watch it, about the 6:55 mark or thereabout, you could see when they were rushing aggressively through barricades.
Council also sought to find out who ordered the shooting. Other councils further cross-examined the witness on the role of the army before, during and after the incident. After 3 hours of cross-examination, Justice Doris Okuwobi then ruled that the army be free from appearing as witness.
The application for his discharge not objected to, the witness is hereby discharged from further attendance at the proceedings, except it is his wish to be present to watch further proceedings.
Meanwhile, counsel to Lekki Concession Company applied for speedy trial of its client to enable the company commence work at the toll gate. This was vehemently objected to by other councils. Further hearing continues Tuesday next week. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
And to other matters now. 16 years ago, precisely in 2014, the Joint United Nations Programme on HIV and AIDS, UNAIDS, set aside year 2020 for all countries to achieve 90-90-90 target of suppressing HIV virus if the world must end HIV and AIDS in 2030. Nigeria is one of the countries lagging behind despite government and donor agency support. This necessitated a retreat for the management staff and board members of National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, to brainstorm on how to make the agency more efficient in terms of their mandates. Basi Taikban reports.
The United Nations 90-90-90 targets syphilis starts. By 2020, 90% of all people living with HIV will know their status. 90% of everybody diagnosed will be placed on treatments. And 90% of the people receiving treatments will have viral suppression.
All hands are on deck. But why is Nigeria lagging? We have a dual epidemic. One that is declining in the general population, and the other that is raging among the key affected population.
Retreat for NACA management staff is therefore timely.
We're having the opportunity to sit among ourselves, to interact, to be guided by experts.
Security situation in the country and accessibility is seen as some of the reasons Nigeria is yet to achieve the targets.
But the good news is we're making appreciable progress. From last year to now, over 500 new cases have been identified and have been linked to treatment, which in itself give us the confidence.
Although gains in access and treatments continue, many countries and regions are unlikely to achieve the 90-90 target. Basi Taikban, NTA News.
The WHO criticizes Europe's response to COVID-19 just as U.S. federal judge dismisses Trump's lawsuit in Pennsylvania. Joyce Ometu has a global update.
The World Health Organization's special COVID-19 envoy has slammed Europe's response to the coronavirus pandemic, saying countries failed to take advantage of a summer break in cases to prepare for the next wave. The World Health Organization's special COVID-19 envoy, David Nabarro, predicted that Europe was likely to see a third wave of the pandemic in early 2021 before a vaccine is introduced. Meanwhile, the Australian state of New South Wales is to reopen its borders with neighbouring Victoria for the first time since July after coronavirus cases there fell to zero. Victoria, which imposed a tough lockdown after a surge in cases, has reported no new infections since the beginning of November. Statistics by Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Database as at 6 p.m. Nigeria time showed a total of 58,693,434 cases registered worldwide, out of which Africa accounts for 2,071,136. Meanwhile, Nigeria's total confirmed cases have reached 66,228, with 61,884 recoveries and 1,166 fatalities. Turning attention to other news, voters have gone to the polls in Burkina Faso for presidential and legislative elections held against the backdrop of a spiraling conflict and one of the world's fastest-growing humanitarian crises. Insecurity caused by the devastating war in the western portion of Africa's Sahel region that has spread in Burkina Faso has defined the first term of President Roch Kabore, who is now seeking another 5 years in power. In another development, a judge in Pennsylvania has dismissed a lawsuit from the Trump campaign that sought to invalidate millions of mail-in votes in the battleground states. Judge Matthew Brand said the suit, which rested on allegations of irregularities, was without merit. The move paves the way for Pennsylvania to certify Joe Biden's win next week. He leads by more than 80,000 votes. And that ends this segment. Thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
Thank you very much, Joyce, for that package. You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, the nation's capital. Time to take a short break. More news when we return. Stay with us. Glad to have you back on the news. Now, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has launched the distribution of relief materials to more than 400 victims of bandit attacks in Dosima Kurfi Federal Constituency of Katsina State to cushion the effect of their present situation. Alwal Haliru has the report.
The relief materials given to the 400 beneficiaries are food items, building materials, cooking oil, and blankets, among others. The benefiting communities expressed gratitude to the member representing Dusama Kurfi Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Aramea Abdelkader, for facilitating the relief items. They said the assistance would cushion their hardship as a result of bandit attacks in the affected areas. While presenting the materials, the zonal coordinator for the National Emergency Management Agency Northwest Zone, Abani Imam Garki, said the relief materials were meant to sympathize with the victims and provide succor to them.
We're here to sympathize with the people and then directly distribute the items to the people affected by armed banditry attacks in these two local government areas of Katsina State.
The lawmaker representing Dusama Kurfi Federal Constituency, Aramea Abdelkader, represented by Mohammed Umar, thanked the federal government for the gesture.
We wish that these insecurity issues ravaging our countries, ravaging our communities will come to an end so that our people will live in peace.
The presentation of the relief materials was witnessed by officials of Katsina State Emergency Management Agency, traditional and community leaders of the areas. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
And a little on politics now. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, says the present administration's culture of consistency and improvement of electoral integrity must be supported by well-meaning Nigerians. Chairman of the council, Dr. Leonard Nzenwa, at a media briefing in Abuja, resolved to ensuring that stakeholders and forces bent on eroding gains made in the electoral processes and system are checked. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Aligning with broader effort to improve the electoral process and ensures that the country continues to have inclusive, peaceful, credible, free, fair and transparent poll remains the priority of the Inter-Party Advisory Council since inauguration into office.
We need to build a culture of consistency over time. The idea of the stopgap measure, where one person will take one particular tenure without giving the benefit of trying to exercise his potentials over time, is something we need to stop. And so we have related with the umpire INEC over the last few months, and we can say very clearly that INEC that we have related with has done respectably very well. When I say respectably very well, I'm not saying the umpire has no challenges or has not made some mistakes, but we can say conclusively they have posted some good results, and the clear example of that is that of Edo election, which was widely applauded, widely commended, and the global community was very happy for it.
While recommitting to work harmoniously with all stakeholders, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Council enjoined Nigerian youth to be agents of positive change in the nation's quest towards improving the lot of the citizenry. A group of Nigerian women under the banner of Northern Women Peace Forum similarly condemned the violence that accompanied the recent EndSARS protest in major cities across the country, calling on the youth to find better ways of channeling their grievances.
Based on all the crises that have been going on, we are really saddened.
I begging all these people where you are doing this to leave it.
The women promised to ensure that the country continues to mobilize towards promoting peace for national development. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And experts in geospatial technology want Nigeria to leverage opportunities in geographic information system and remote sensing to generate, process, and of course manage data critical to the nation's economic development. Conversations at the 2020 GIS Day put together by the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria are centered on giving context to the place of data in governance, business and other human endeavors.
Geographic Information System, GIS, is a computer-based analysis of data that situates information in specific geographic locations. It is used to collect and manage data about demographics, population, settlement, natural resources, among others, in relation to their locations in the country. This conference, with the theme Geospatial Technology, a panacea for 21st century economic development, highlights the role of spatial data in national planning.
Every effort without geospatial technology will be effort with futility. And I want to quickly say that it is heartwarming that our government has come to terms with this reality as being demonstrated by the Federal Ministry of Works, Housing, including state government establishing their GIS.
While most of the traditional professional fields, such as medicine, pharmacy, and the likes, will be taken over by the artificial intelligence and robotic machines in the next few decades, we are poised to become the central nervous system of global affairs and relationships.
Experts at the conference hope to formulate strategies to provide government with requisite geospatial data that will boost internally generated revenue in the country and ensure good decision-making, planning and implementation of policies and programs to improve the living conditions of Nigerians. In Abuja, Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria has received back one of its stolen antiquities, the Ife terracotta head, which was intercepted in Hague, Netherlands. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama took the custody of the Nigeria's glorified historic asset, handed over by the charge d'affaires, Nigeria's embassy, Netherlands, Kabiru Musa.
Been able to get the identity of that individual, but the good thing is that we are able to get it back. So the moment they intercepted it, they invited our authorities. A lawyer from the National Commission for Museum and Monuments went to the Netherlands to verify the authenticity of the object.
It's sealed so as not to compromise the integrity of it, but I believe, I understand that after a certain period of time, it will then be possible to open it, maybe a day or two. We're now going to be able to open it, and so we will present it and display it on Tuesday.
Terracotta sculptures are very delicate valuables at the international art. They are also secrets of Nigeria's early civilization. And now to sports. Sheffield United lost at home by a lone goal to West Ham as Everton won at Fulham 3-2 in EPL Sunday. Amanzi Marcus has other reports on Sports Update.
Sixteen teams in Nasarawa State are competing in the 4th edition of the Mailafia Peace and Unity Tournament in Daddere, Obi local government of the state. In the opening match, defending champions Chokali Babes of Obi in lemon green over black defeated Greater Tomorrow of Lafia 2-1.
It's difficult, but then we thank God for the victory.
Having lost this match, we want to go back and rebuild ourselves.
We are working on partnership with La Liga as at present. And at the course of this, La Liga representative in Nigeria will be visiting this championship to see what we are doing and to see where they can assist us.
The competition ends on Boxing Day, December 26. Tennis Australia on Sunday allayed fears that the first Grand Slam of the season and its build-up can be hampered by the coronavirus pandemic. Australian Open Tournament Director Craig Tell, while awaiting government's decision on whether the tournament will go ahead or not, said, "Our intention is to deliver a summer in conditions that allow the players to prepare and perform at their best and the fans to enjoy their efforts, all in an environment that is safe for all concerned." Tennis Australia wants players to arrive in the middle of December, spend 2 weeks in mandatory quarantine and compete in build-up matches ahead of the January 18, 2021 kickoff date. As the coronavirus pandemic continues to disrupt schedules around the world, 15 American college football matches were put on hold weekend. A spokesman for the NCAA said 3 other weekday games were equally postponed as the U.S. hit 12 million coronavirus cases. In the Ultimate Fighting Championship, 2 Kyrgyzstani sisters emerged winners in Las Vegas. Antonia Shevchenko earned a second-round technical knockout triumph over Brazil's Ariane Lipski to claim a 20th career victory. In one of the 2 main events of the night, UFC Women's Flyweight Champion Valentina Shevchenko, the junior sister, got the same score of 49-46 from all the 3 judges to defeat Jennifer Maia, also of Brazil. The icing on their family victory cake was when their mother, Elena, won a Muay Thai shadow boxing world title after demonstrating her skills in a virtual competition. With sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
And time now for a quick look at weather prospects for Monday. And that concludes today's news at 7. Before we go, remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. Good evening.